So if you want to create an effect like this, guess what? You can do it really easily inside of Framer. And in this video, our friend Nandi from Framing University is going to show you exactly how to do that. The tutorial you're about to see is from a clip from our recent Front Row 2024 conference, which was our live event that we hosted here free on YouTube. I hope you enjoy.
This is actually an unreleased code override by Framer University. And with that, you can create these nice parallax hover effects in Framer. So as you can see, I have a couple layers of images here. And as I'm hovering over this website, I'm moving my cursor around. You can see that these images are following my cursor with different speeds, creating this nice 3D parallax hover effect. And actually, we don't have to do anything in Framer just yet, because we have some work to do with the image. So first of all, we need to pick an image that works great with this effect. Basically, an image that it has, maybe a foreground, a middle ground, or like a focal point, and a nice blurred out background, because that way we can separate this image to those layers, and we can apply the code override to each of those layers separately. So I already downloaded this image. You can see it in my finder bag.jpg. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this with not Photoshop, because I'm not using Photoshop anymore. I'm using Pixelmator Pro. So we're going to just click this, open with, and Pixelmator Pro. Yeah, if you have Photoshop, you can do the same thing. So I'm going to show here, so don't worry. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to rename this to foreground. I will just hit Q on my keyboard and just select the parts of the image that will be the part of the foreground. So these blurred out leaves here. So I'm not going to make it perfect, because I don't think that we have that much time, but I'm just going to show you how you can do it. So yeah, this will be good. And also this part here, so I'm hitting Shift on my keyboard and adding to the selection. Okay, great. So now what we can do is we can hit this select and mask. This will basically mask it. And we can click Smart Refine, because it will just refine the selection. Then we can hit Apply. So now we have a separate layer that only has the foreground elements. Now what we can do is we can hide it, and we can go on to the next one, which will be this focal point. What we can do here is we can hit Command on our keyboard and click the mask. Now we see this selection here. And from the focal point, we are going to remove the foreground elements. So I'm going to hit R on my keyboard, and I'm going to just draw over these areas, and Pixelmator Pro will just smartly replace this content. As you can see, it's not so smart. Sometimes it's not really smart, but we can refine this. So I'm going to deselect everything. And I will just refine these edges here. As you can see, also this bag can be a little bit nicer. Yeah, as I said, it's not going to be perfect. We also need some more rocks here, but we don't see them. But yeah, I'm just gonna refine these edges. And maybe I can use another tool. What is it? What is called? Clone tool, okay. And I will just try to make some more rocks here. So let's try that. Okay. Looks not bad. Okay. And with R again, I can just click in here and make it a bit more rocky. Yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but this is what we have. We don't have too much time now. So what we can do here in the focal point is we can select the elements that will be part of the focal point, which is the rock here and the bag. So I'm just gonna draw over the bag and the rock to select them. Okay. Okay. Just make sure that we don't miss any parts of the image. Oh, okay. We also need this little handle here. Great. So now we have the elements that we need on the focal point. We can select the mask, Smart Refine, and apply. Great. Now we have the focal point. We can again duplicate this with Command and J. And we're going to rename this to background. Okay, so background. And I'm going to hide this. I'm going to remove the mask from here. Again, select the selection from the previous element, so the focal point, and again, remove everything that is part of that. So yeah, but I just noticed something here. So as you can see here, we did not select that little logo. So let's fix that. So mask, and we're going to draw over it with white. Now back to the background and just remove this bag really quickly and the rocks and everything. Okay. What we need here is just the background. So again, deselecting everything and going over the edges to make sure that we have a smooth background layer. Okay, I think that's it. Now we have the background, we have the focal point with the rock and the bag, and we have the foreground with the blurred leaves. So we can now export each of these separately as PNGs. So Crim University conf, and we're going to create a new folder here, layers 2. This will be the BG. Okay, we wait a couple of seconds until it exports. Then we only show the focal point. Again, export as a PNG. This will be focal. Okay, let's wait a couple of seconds, and then we have the foreground. Again, export as a PNG. And this will be the foreground. Cool. In just a couple of seconds, we have everything. Yes, we can now leave our little Pixelmator Pro. We can go into Framer now because it's time to assemble this whole effect. So let's open Finder, Layers 2, and now we have each of these here. As you can see, we can just drag and drop them to the canvas. And as you can see, they are right on top of each other. We can deselect this log because we don't want to keep the aspect ratio. And we can just wrap them in a frame by pressing Command Enter, and then renaming this frame to container. Then I'm gonna select all of these layers within and just make them a little bit bigger like this. And then I can just Command and X here, Command and V within the main, and width will be fill, height will be 100 VH. So it will be always filling up the 100% of the given viewport. Cool. So now if we preview this, of course, nothing happens if we hover because we have to add the override. So again, this will be an unreleased code override. It is not perfect yet, but you can remix it, parallax -hover .learnframer.site. You can remix it, but maybe wait until we release it and it will be a perfected version. But I will just select the foreground first and apply a code override. It is a look code override, and the intensity will be 10. So intensity 10 means that this will be following the cursor with the largest intensity. So this will be kind of the fastest. Then the focal will be intensity 5. So code override, look, and intensity 5. So it will be a little bit slower than the foreground. And then the background will be code override, look, and intensity 1. Because this is how you do parallax animations. The things in the foreground moves really fast, and the things in the background move really slow. And that's how you get the effect. Now, if I preview this, you can see that as I'm hovering over these images, they are moving, they are following the cursor with different speed. And this is how you can create this parallax hover effect in Framer. And the parallax hover effect, which is parallax-hover.learnframer.site. You can also remix this.
If you want more content like this, consider subscribing to the channel because we're putting out more Framer content every single week in 2024. And if you want to check out more clips from our Front Row 2024 conference, check the link down below. Until next time, I'll catch you later.